Welcome back to MS English AI. Today's talk is not about grammar, not about accent, not even about vocabulary. It's about something deeper, the reason we speak at all. Because sometimes we get so busy trying to sound perfect that we forget to be understood.
Yeah, I know that feeling. Every time I speak English, I worry. Did I pronounce that right? Or was that the right word? It's like I'm performing, not talking.
Exactly. We start treating language like a mirror, checking how we look, instead of a bridge, connecting how we feel.
So, you think the goal isn't to sound perfect?
The goal is to be understood, because perfection doesn't build connection, understanding does.
When I first started learning English, I used to listen to native speakers and think, I'll never sound like that. I would replay their voices over and over, trying to copy every sound. But even when I did, I still didn't feel confident.
That's because perfection is a moving target. Even native speakers make mistakes. They just don't stop themselves every time it happens. You see, communication is not a test. It's a transfer from heart to heart, mind to mind.
Heart to heart. I like that. But it's hard, Paul. When I speak, I can hear my mistakes in real time. I know when something sounds wrong, and I can't ignore it.
I know. That's the perfectionist's pain. You're aware, you care, and that's beautiful. But caring too much about how you sound can make you forget why you're speaking.
So, what's the why for you? Why do you speak?
Hmm, good question. I think we speak to share something invisible, thoughts, feelings, images, and turn them into sound. Language is just a tool. The real goal is connection. When you say, I understand you, that's when communication succeeds, not when someone says your English is perfect.
That's true. But our brains don't always believe that, especially when someone laughs at our accent or corrects us in front of others.
Yes, that moment can feel like a spotlight, like the whole world saw your mistake. But you know what? Even in those moments, people remember your message more than your mistakes. You might mispronounce a word, but if your eyes and tone are sincere, they'll still understand you, maybe even feel closer to you.
So, the heart of communication isn't correctness, it's clarity.
Exactly. Clarity and connection. Perfect English doesn't guarantee understanding, but honest English almost always does.
You know what's funny? Sometimes when I speak, it's not other people judging me, it's me. It's like this little voice inside says, that wasn't good enough, or you sound silly.
Ah, yes, the inner critic. We all have it. That voice was meant to protect you from embarrassment, but it ends up silencing your truth.
So, how do I quiet it?
By changing its job, don't let it be your judge, let it be your coach. Instead of saying, that was terrible, tell yourself, that's okay. Let's try that again, but slower. Perfectionists often forget they're allowed to practice in peace.
Practice in peace. I like that. It feels kinder.
Kindness is the secret ingredient to fluency, because if your brain feels safe, your language flows. But if your brain feels judged, it freezes.
So, you're saying when I speak, I shouldn't try to impress?
Not unless you're on stage. And even then, the best performances are the most real ones. Most people speak English trying to sound good, but people who truly connect speak to be heard.
That's so true. Sometimes when I'm focused on impressing someone, my words feel stiff. But when I'm focused on expressing myself, they flow naturally.
Exactly. Because when your goal changes, your brain relaxes. When you want to impress, you speak from fear. When you want to express, you speak from truth.
And truth always sounds beautiful, even with an accent.
Exactly. Your accent is not an error, it's evidence of courage. Every sound you make in another language is a story of effort and bravery.
You know, Paul, I once had a conversation with a tourist who barely spoke my language. We used gestures, smiles, and broken words, but somehow we understood each other completely. It made me realize maybe understanding doesn't always need perfect words.
That's a beautiful example, because true communication is emotional, not mechanical. Even silence can speak volumes if it's honest. That's why I always tell my students, don't chase perfect grammar, chase genuine meaning.
It feels like when I stop worrying about being perfect, my real self finally comes out.
And that's the voice people fall in love with. Your real one.
But what about mistakes? I mean, they still matter, right?
Of course. But mistakes are teachers, not enemies. Every time you make one, you get closer to the truth. Think of it like this. When a baby learns to walk, it falls 100 times. But no one says, "What a failure." They smile and say, "You're learning." That's how you should treat your English too.
So I'm not broken, I'm just in progress.
Exactly. And progress is always more beautiful than perfection.
You know, I think I've been chasing the wrong thing all this time. I wanted people to admire my English, but what I really wanted was for them to feel me.
That's it. When you speak to be understood, not to be perfect, people don't just hear your words, they hear your heart. And that's the sound the world remembers.
Then from now on, I'll stop performing, I'll start connecting.
That's the real beginning of fluency.
Thank you, Paul, for reminding me that my voice doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be mine.
Exactly, Anna. Speak with heart. The world doesn't need perfect voices, it needs honest ones. And to everyone listening, your English doesn't have to be flawless to be powerful. Speak with courage. Speak to connect, because connection is the real language of the heart.